old, and she is not taking life with a small spoon. It is a whole mwiko at this point. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you guys doing today? The tech was taking, okay? It was doing its thing, but we're glad to be here. We're glad to be alive. We're glad to be breathing, and we thank God nonetheless. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but whenever there's a chance of CGU, Mandamano, protest, or whatever, and it's just me. It seems like it just never rains. Yesterday it was full on raining. Full on. For Mombasa, 26 degrees, partly sunny, humidity at 83%, up to highs of 30 degrees. And for Kisumu, 21 degrees, mostly cloudy, humidity at 85%. Taking a quick look at the roads, traffic has already begun around Ngong Road. And yes, going past Kenyatta Hospital, as the road drains in over there, at least Kenyatta Hospital, it looks a bit clear right about now. Again, taking a look at Jogoo Road. Jogoo Road not looking too nice right about now. Traffic seems to be building up, bumper to bumper, going up and past Nairobi City Stadium. Yeah, it's not looking too good. Looking at Thika Road, it's business as usual. Yes, it's gone back to being quite hectic, just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. Um, Also around Mombasa Road, it's looking nice and clear up until you get to that Nyayo National Stadium roundabout. Yeah, that's traffic, but it's not too much. It's not too much. It's actually containable. Lusaka Road is looking all right for now. Bunyala Road, traffic is building up at this time. Langata Road, not looking too bad at all. However, when you get to Nyayo National Stadium, a bit of traffic right there, but it is bearable. So it's not looking too crazy right now on most of the roads as it would be. It's a bit bearable, but yes, as you go about your day, be sure to tune into Icon Radio on www.iconradio.co.ke, on YouTube .com/at Icon Radio KE. And while you're on those socials, just follow, like, and subscribe on Icon Radio KE across the board. You can follow me on Instagram as Nyar Fox, Twitter at Maloba. Our hashtags are Icon Radio KE, The Breakfast Jam, and Afro Punk Queen. All right, let's go back into that Throwback Thursday. We're in the Kenyan Hour. So, of course, if you want to listen to great Kenyan jams, this is the time for you. Also, we are going to be getting to that Adulting Thursdays, but first, I got to give you a lowdown on the headlines making the news this morning before we get into just that. Let's get in. This is The Breakfast Jam. stars, just guys who are at the peak of their careers. Yes, they represented for South Sea, they represented for Nairobi West, they represented for Kenya, and put us heavy on the map. And of course, we'll never ever forget them. That's why you come to the Breakfast Jam, because we take you back and take you down memory lane of just amazing, iconic people, right? We're all about that throwback therapy, especially this Kenyan hour. And for now, speaking of Kenyan, we're going to go into that Kenyan, the headlines that are making the news this morning. Now, Chebukati went proudly on Twitter to announce that he is being published for something. The former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairman Fuller Chebukati on Wednesday, May 3rd, announced that his maiden election project had received global acceptance at the Elect Integrities annual conference. Chebukati expressed gratitude to the Royal Military College of Canada for accepting his project, which he believed would enlighten the world on various challenges facing electoral bodies across the world. Former IEBC chairman intends to use the conference to scientifically explain how Kenyan elections were managed, especially the issue of result transmission. He says, I was pleased to announce that my project titled Role of Technology in Improving the Integrity of the Electoral Process in Kenya has been accepted for presentation at Elect Integrity's annual conference to be held on July 3rd to 7th, 2023. He said that he would extensively touch some of the ongoing debates and post-election demands by Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga. The Electoral Integrity Project seeks to strengthen elections in contests around the world through innovative and policy relevant scientific research that achieves international standing in social sciences. Now, speaking of elections, Azimio suspended countrywide protests, and that came last night. Now, Azimio La Umoja coalition, headed by former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, on Wednesday, May 3rd, suspended its countrywide protests scheduled for Thursday, May 4th. In a statement, the coalition noted that the decision was arrived after a meeting encompassing its leadership following an early decision by Kenya Kwanza bipartisan committee to drop Elders MP Adan Kainan from its lineup. Now, there's a statement that read this evening, the leadership of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party met and agreed to once more suspend the mass protests that we had earlier scheduled to continue tomorrow. The coalition took this step following the decision by Kenya Kwanza to accede to one of our demands that informed the resumption of mass action. Instead, the coalition invited its bipartisan team for a meeting to strategize its approach before the next round of negotiations kick off. The committee stated that instead of holding the protests, we have summoned our 7-member delegation to bipartisan committee for fresh instructions to inform further engagement with the Kenya Kwanza side. The coalition, however, reiterated that it might be compelled to return to the streets should its counterparts show the slightest indication of lack of goodwill and honesty. Honestly, praying that doesn't happen. Listen, when we used to be in Primo, couldn't these things used to happen during the times of Moi? We used to be like, hey, at least we stay home from school, nothing, either that or the teacher strike or whatever. But we're being a parent, hey, you understand fully. It affects you so much in so many ways. Like sometimes planning around it can be hard. I won't lie. It can, personally speaking, planning around it can be hard. Work comes to a standstill. You don't know what to do. But I guess, again, people's freedom to demonstrate, to protest, it's there. It's in the Constitution. So long as it's applied for early, as it's been said. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Now, speaking of demonstrations, MCAs issue ultimatum to Ruto over pay rise and threaten strike. Now, MCAs on Wednesday, May 3rd, gave a 14 days ultimatum to President William Ruto to address their demands. This was during the inaugural meeting at KICC in Nairobi. The MCAs issued several demands to the national government, including salary increment, which they stated must be met within 2 weeks. At the same time, the MCAs noted that all the 47 county assemblies shall adjourn indefinitely on the first official assembly sitting after the expiry of 14 days if their demands were not met. The demands include establishment of ward development fund that is fully anchored in law at 20% of the county development budget. They also expressed the need for establishment of county affirmative action fund for nominated MCAs. The county legislators at the same time demanded for county assemblies to be granted financial autonomy to aid in the effective execution of their mandate. Remuneration and benefits of MCAs was also their point of concern, as they wanted it reviewed considering the percentages in place for members of parliament. The Salaries and Remuneration Commission was compelled by the county legislators to reinstate plenary allowances for MCAs. They lamented that their officers did not have adequate funds despite having an overload of work. In addition, the MCAs compelled the taxman to revoke and refund 30% tax levied on members' car reimbursement, noting that the fund was an automatic privilege. Yeah. Well, I did look at the fees, not the fees, rather the remuneration packages for MCAs. And yeah, after you've spent all that time and money campaigning, what you get back is not exactly the best compared to their other counterparts in different levels of office. They don't really get the best, and yet the other ones who are the grassroots dealing with majority of the problems before they scale up and scale up and scale up. So I kind of understand their fight right now. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Now, Duale reveals that Ruto tricked Uhuru months before elections in tell-all book. Okay. So it's going to get juicy as I am going to look for that book 100%. Now, Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale in a memoir divulged how President William Ruto tricked former President Uhuru Kenyatta into creating the United Democratic Alliance. The political chess began in Uhuru's second term, starting in 2017 when Uhuru signaled that Ruto was not his preferred successor, something we all saw happening. Now, as a first step, we needed to secure a political party to make sure we had a vehicle for Ruto to use as he sought to be elected as the fifth president of Kenya on 9th August. Now, if we put all our hopes on it, it was likely that we would be disappointed at the last minute, he said it in his book, for the record. Additionally, they faced the risk of being kicked out of the Jubilee Party if they started a new party during their term in Parliament. The week before I was fired, Ruto's inner circle tested the waters, claiming that there was Jubilee Asili. Now, the authentic Jubilee, and even branded some office and had Ruto open it. The making sure no new party was registered, we quietly worked to get our house in order. As Uhuru's team focused on sealing the possibility of Ruto opening a new party, they came up with a plan to rebrand an existing party that was also a member of the Jubilee coalition. He says, we activated the real option. We had a party that had signed a coalition agreement for the Jubilee Party prior to the 2017 elections. It was called the Party of Development and Reforms, aka PDR. The party was strategic. It wanted to reap from the fallout within the Jubilee Party arising from the grand merger. It had got some leaders in the pastoralist counties elected, including Fatumo Dulo, the senator from Isiolo County. Ruto and his team rebranded PDR and later to United Democratic Alliance. This way, they had a new party that was a constituent. That was a constituent party of the Jubilee Party. Thus, they could not be harassed for abandoning Jubilee. He says we quietly worked with the leadership of PDR, changed the name to UDA, and created a symbol of a wheelbarrow, get the yellow and green colors approved. Then come January 2021, once the registrar of political parties had accepted the changes, we went public. UDA was a coalition partner of Jubilee Party. The members could not be sanctioned for working with a coalition partner. Jubilee could not break the coalition agreement without losing the numbers it desperately needed in the House. Checkmate. And I was just thinking in my head, some people are playing drafts, other people are playing chess. Way. I did not see that coming. Nonetheless, he recorded that Jubilee tried to crack the whip on Ruto by going after his allies. However, they could not kick them out of Jubilee, even as UDA grew in numbers. Duale served as a majority leader in the National Assembly between 2013 and 2020 before he was axed for working with Ruto towards 2022 State House race. Yeah. Yeah. That well, but somebody watches things like what's it called? There's a lot of these political shows. I'll say, well done, well done. I did not see that coming. I actually did not see that coming. I am 100% looking for that book. Just try to read how that all went about. Hey guys are planners. Way. I'm getting that book just to learn how to be strategic. To be very honest. Because truly, even in the business landscape, guys' chairs are rough. Guys' chairs are very, very rough. So you really know, you really need to know how to read certain situations, forecast them, and then play against them in the way that will be beneficial to you. So yes, well done. Chess, not checkers, not drafts. Okay. Finally, good news for a lot of university students as Ruto unveils new university funding model with 3 categories of students. The President William Ruto on Wednesday, May 3rd, unveiled a new university funding model as a solution to the debt crisis bedeviling public universities. In a press briefing from State House, Ruto explained that the new model will be student-centered and the funds will be channeled through scholarships and loans. Ruto noted that the new model did not increase university fees, adding that the government would increase the financial budget allocated to the institutions. He said this new funding model does not increase university fees. Under the new model, we are increasing the university allocation in the new financial year from 54 billion to 84.6 billion. Universities and TVETs will no longer receive block funding in the form of capitation based on a differentiated unit cost. Funding to students shall combine scholarships, loans, and household contribution on a graduated scale. He explained that students would be divided into 3 categories, including the vulnerable, the less vulnerable, and the able, and will receive funding according to the categories. The state noted that the government would give scholarships to the vulnerable students, and therefore the parents would not pay any amount for the education of their children. However, for the students in the less vulnerable category, the government would offer them a scholarship that would pay up to 53% of the education and issue them with a 40% loan. At the same time, those joining TVET institutions under the category will receive scholarships of 50% of their fees and 30% in loans. All right. Yes, like I said, a little bit of good news for those who never thought they'd be able to see university. So again, just go out and see how to take advantage of this particular opportunity. And Soma. Speaking of, let's get back into the music. All about the Kenyan Hour this morning. When we come back, we'll be about that Adulting Thursdays. So get your phones ready. Let's get talking. Hit me up on +254 788 380030, as well as the comment section over there on YouTube. And let's get into that after this. Key. Guy, hey, I completely forgot the name of the song, but I'm getting it right now. Yes, so it's Take It Slow. Ziki featuring Jaguar. Big tunes playing right there. Ziki, I think I've just has gone on to be full on Jamaican because he's always touring around there and, of course, collaborating with amazing Jamaican artists. Speaking of Jamaica, we're going to be having an amazing show starting next Wednesday. You cannot be affording to miss out on that one because the person who's coming on, I'll give you more details about her, gets all the stars from Jamaica to come and speak to you directly. My friends, you cannot, again, afford to miss out on that one. More details of that, plus other new shows coming on to Icon Radio this month. Now, there is a particular story, this adulting Thursdays, I want to delve into. Like, it should have delved into it like 3 days ago when it came out. But I was like, nah, wacha nishikilie tu kidogo. I hold on till today so we can just talk about it. Now, a Kenyan woman identified as Yvonne has sparked debate on social media after she narrated how she called off her wedding after her fiance asked her to cut off communication with the father of the child. Now, she put out a statement, and I'd like to read it out so you get to understand the context before we go on. Now, a lady by the name of Yvonne Contos went on social media and said, few days ago, I called off my engagement. We nyota yangu ni kama Pastor Ezekiel ameenda nayo jela. My fiance was good. He loves me. He has no problem with taking care of me and my daughter fully. But there are things I can never compromise no matter how good you are to me. One of them is the relationship with my daughter as with her father. That has always been my rule. I broke up with my baby daddy, but he didn't break up with his child. The bond my daughter has with her dad is something I can never compromise just to make the man I'm dating feel nice. My child is loved. My daughter is well taken care of. My little girl has a father, a very responsible father, and I cannot break the bond they have just to get married or to fit your needs. I also understand many men date bitter single moms who are willing to even change their children's identity to that of the new man they are dating or married to. Many single moms have even changed their SIM cards in worst cases. Others even have neglected their kids to make their lovers happy. But can never be me. It can never be me. First of all, breakups are hard. 100%. They really tear at you. You go through a lot of the emotions, the five stages of grief all come at you at once, and you try and see how to manage and navigate your way past this person who you spent your life with for even if it's a month to 3 years. It's still somebody you shared something with, including your heart, your emotions. Yeah. So breakups can be extremely hard. But then breakups where it involves a child is complicated. It comes from hard to complicated, right? Now, I've had people close to me who have been in this kind of particular predicament. Breakups were nasty, nasty, nasty. Um, of course, going through the motions of leaving each other, especially if you're staying together, leaving each other, finding your own space away from each other. Then comes in the support from the spouse and trying to see how to make things as normal as possible for the child. Now, I can admit I've been at that place of leave that guy. You can do better by yourself. You're good to go. You have our support. Blah, 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 blah. But there's one person in my life who decided this is not going to be my narrative. She decided I am not going to take away my child from his father. I am not going to make life difficult by getting into silly arguments that were nonsensical. Whatever we had to come to the table and agree on, that is what will happen. And I'll never cause him grief as long as he remains in my son's life. And this is what exactly Yvonne Contos seems to be doing. She's like, listen, Mimi, I cosanad with baby dads, but my child did not. And therefore, they need to remain in each other's lives because a father figure shapes any child's life at any point. It's very important if the relationship is good to maintain it. And that is what she's striving to do. And she's like, why? Why should I split them up because I'm getting married? Ai, kwani pete itafanya nini cause my child to have PTSD? She refused that. And it takes a lot to actually understand that when you have a child, it takes a lot to understand that it's not that easy. It's not that easy to say, by the F him. I'm done with him. My child is done with him. I can't be associated with him. Let me move on to the next guy and move on with my child. Because if you make rash decisions like those, wouldn't you be making them forever? There are some situations in which there are very toxic relationships where even the man is toxic towards the child. And there sometimes you can weigh out your options. But where a man is firmly planted in your child's life, why cut him out? So my question today, which you're going to be posting in the socials, should you cut ties with your baby daddy once your relationship is done? Or should you maintain them in their life, especially when it's a healthy relationship? I'd love you guys to delve into this topic today. Let me know your thoughts on +254 788 380030 or on the YouTube channel right there in the comments section. And let's get into this conversation as we continue to look at the screenshots that she sent this man to say, loser, gear out. Let's get back into the music. This is the Breakfast Jam. for the sake of our relationship. Like me, I can get into a relationship anytime, but my child has a father who is present in his life, very present in their life, very happy to be in their life. Somebody who is um, uh, not beefing with her in any way, hasn't brought any problems, but has proceeded to move on and make the child happy and make their situation easy. This is a couple that probably weren't good together. They just weren't compatible. They're not doing too good together, but them as a family unit who are, not together, they are working. The situation is working. So if it ain't broke, why fix it? Like this is a situation where the father is firmly in the child's life. So she was like, do I choose between you and my child? Of course, my child comes first. So this is the message. Let me just read out in part what she said. She said, so the ball is in your court. Are you okay with that? I feel like the relationship my daughter has with her dad should not be interfered with just because you and I are planning to get married. I want her to grow knowing her mom and dad couldn't be together, but they all have her best interest at heart. I won't deny the dad access to his child. Me and him broke up, but he loves his daughter. So the guy in question, she continues to say, is not a deadbeat. You can love me all you want, but no man can love my daughter like he does. That's her father. I'm sorry, I can't cut off ties. Just because you say you love me and that you are ready to take responsibility of me and her. So just think about it and let me know if that's okay with you. But if you insist ati hauko comfortable, nikiongea na bibi daddy, then mapema ndio best. We can call off plans. I can't believe she's mapema ndio. She was basically done. She ended with, I am just being honest. Mapema ndio best. Yeah, so she was like, again, why cut off ties with my father's baby daddy because my father's baby daddy, my daughter's baby daddy, because you're suddenly uncomfortable with it. Even I understand her reasoning. What, we don't know the future. Like with her and her baby daddy, it didn't work out. They broke up. By the end of the day, they still had a product, which is a child, which she has to make sure is okay. So even in her new situation, nobody knows the future. They might stay together, but they might not. But then again, she doesn't want to damage her child because of her current relationship. It sounds sound to me. Now, she wanted to say, she was talking about this, where so many insecure men, some women who are battling with child defaulters too. Unfortunately, not all single moms have irresponsible baby daddies. Lastly, I have never looked for a man to be the father of my child. She has one. Regarding my child, I make rules. Her well being is my number one priority. Above all, don't project your insecurities to me. If you have been in this world for some time, you will realize I stand by my ground. You can't bully me using the post I make on this wall. Bullies, Kazi, Ipo. Unfortunately, I don't get intimidated. Thank you. Now, I gotta play a little bit of devil's advocate over here because it makes it sound like she also kind of like made him feel not so secure in this situation by the way she talks. This thing of my child only has one dad, getting into a relationship and getting now into that next phase, which is marriage, then he also needs to be seen as a father figure in her life. And of course, there are two sides to every story, okay? There's her side, there's his side, and there's the truth, all right? But, telling from her language in this particular situation, reading from what she's saying, she's like, this child only has one dad and one dad only, and nobody can come in between that. For sure, nobody can come in between that. But when you get married, there's the stepdad situation. So, did she make accommodations for that to be a smooth transition? Because he's now an outsider coming into their life, understandably, and now he has to find a way to fit in to this dynamic in which he has a woman that he loves, probably the child that he loves, and then he has to fight to be seen and heard while this other man still exists in their lives. And that statement of he has only one dad is a bit tricky. Yeah. So I'd really love to hear what your thoughts are on this. As in, what do you guys think? Because it was a huge debate online, huge debate online, and guys were just like, eh, coming from different perspectives. I'll read out a few of the comments. And this is courtesy of Mpasho. Now, somebody said she makes a good point. No need of denying a child the chance to bond with their real father. Somebody called Mani Hakim said, low key, she's still in love with her baby daddy, but she also has a valid reason. Okay. Somebody else said, could the baby daddy too cancel his wedding before because of your daughter? I guess these are open conversations that need to be had. Really open conversation, and not through text. I think anything through text is not the smartest thing to do, because everything can get lost in translation, everything can get misconstrued, and kind of just come out in a way that you never intended for it to come out. So these conversations, yes, arguments could be had over the phone, blah blah blah, but aim to have these conversations and seek resolution face to face. Also, going to like social media kind of like sealed the deal on that one. So I don't think our wedding will be happening anytime soon. But again, playing devil's advocate, did she make provisions for his presence in her child's life, for him to be seen as, the father figure who's coming into their home once they become a family? That the child is also made to understand the situation. Yes, you have your daddy who loves you very, very much, but here's a man who's coming to our life who loves us very much and wants us to be a family. Was that the scenario played out? Again, your thoughts on +254 788 38 0030 and youtube.com/@Icon Radio K. Hit me up and let's get into this conversation. This is Adulting Thursdays, and we're exactly at 9:03 a.m., meaning what? We are here for your requests. So let me know what you'd like to get played. I'll definitely play it for you right here on the Breakfast Jam. Let's get into the request hour. time he said, Tara sounds like a walrus. That is how you pronounce his name. And yes, he puts out beautiful, beautiful music. But he's known around industry circles to be a bit of a diva when it comes to events. My friends, working with him sometimes can be extreme, extreme sports. But he does put out good music. And when he gets on stage, my God, the man kills it 100%. So, yes, Omar Torres Riley, born April 26, 1979, in Bronx, New York, United States, is a Jamaican American reggae singer and member of the Rastafari movement. Now, Riley was born in Bronx, New York, and raised in Jamaica. His father, Jimmy Riley, was a veteran reggae singer. Torres made his recording debut as a teenager in 2004. He released his debut album, Challenges. Riley has consistently racked up awards for his work. Among his accolades are Best Singer, Male Vocalist, Cultural Artist, Song of the Year, and Best Song. So he is one critically acclaimed Jamaican artist. Made massive hits. He's made massive hits also with a few Kenyans. I think most notably was on with Ziki. And of course, he just continues to blaze the trail. Diva, attitude, or not. This is the Breakfast Jam. I'm your girl, Myra, Maloba, the Afro Punk Queen. You're listening to us here at Icon Radio, number one entertainment plug. Of course, we are having the conversation around um, Yvonne Contos, who came out and said, yeah, you are not separating me and baby daddy. I'm not about that life. Yeah. This is somebody who is in my child's life. This is somebody who is a constant and has not neglected his child. So why would I go on to break it off? And then again, just looking at the conversation that she put out, apart from what she sent to the baby daddy in text, but what she went on to explain after facing a little bit of criticism online was the fact that she said this child has only one father. And mind you, she was set to marry the man she's telling this to. So what does this make them fiance? Cousin? I don't understand. Why would you rule him out like that and you're set to marry him? So it's a little bit of a conundrum over here. There are aspects to both sides that I kind of understand depending on the situation. But again, there is his side, there's her side, and there's the truth. But I'd like to know your truth. Be sure to hit me up on the conversation on +254 788 380030 on the comment section right there on YouTube. That's youtube.com/Icon Radio KE. Tune in and let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear what you have to think about this particular topic. But going into 10 a.m. in Nairobi, 20 degrees, intermittent clouds, humidity at 77%. Mombasa, 28 degrees, partly sunny, humidity at 76%. For Kisumu, it's at 24 degrees, intermittent clouds, humidity at 72%. Looking at the roads, they're easing up just a little bit along Gong Road. The traffic has eased down. Jogoo Road as well, but still there are pockets of heavy traffic, especially around the Makadara area. If we look at the city center, it doesn't look too bad. However, on Thika Road, there is just one area that literally is at a standstill. Huge traffic around that side. Lusaka Road also looks nice and clear right about now. Bunyala Road also not looking too bad. Around Mombasa Road, nice and clear. Nyayo National Stadium area, first time. It's looking nice and clear. Not too much traffic around that area. Langata Road also not looking too bad. So it seems to be pretty clear around this time. So you can just be cruising along the highway and enjoy music from Icon Radio, where we are your number one entertainment plug. All right, when we come back, we'll be taking a look at some of the entertainment news making the headlines this morning, including Mustafa, who has shocked netizens across Kenya. Keep it here for more from that. Those are revelers who broke into dance and worship songs after a power outage at what seems to look like 8024. Mailangata peeps, maze. Don't know how to act right. There's one comment I have to read out. Somebody says, Hakuna watu wanapenda Mungu kama walevi. Aki, that is so true. Do you remember the times of Kunadawa? We'd be over there rocking down to it in the club. And you, man. There's another one we played yesterday, Blackman, Isaac Blackman to the ceiling. Nobody knew it was a gospel song. So all the guys were grinding to that particular song and then found out that it was actually a gospel song. They were like, blasphemy, blasphemy. Yeah, to live and party in Nairobi. All right. So there is a video that is been making its rounds. You know, guys, we am full on at as with Edgar Obari, who can just get all my news from him. But now he's not the only one who's reporting. Also, Nairobi Gossip now actually showed the video because you know for Edgar Obari you have to nini subscribe. I mean, I don't know whether I'm gonna subscribe yet or not. I don't even think so. I'm just getting my news filtered. Pole pole. So he puts out a news item. Then I go Facebook, Instagram, go and look for all the guys who have leaked whatever he has put out and he subscribed, whatever. And then I get to know the news. I know it's bad, you know. Sisi Watuka, you know, people in the creative industry need to support each other. But I'm not there yet. I haven't figured the point where I'm like, okay, I really want to subscribe to Edgar Obare. His news is Tamu, but am I there yet? I don't think so. Anyway, as I digress. So there's this story about Mustafa. He calls himself Colonel Mustafa, but for those in the English, who are, you know, all about that English language, it's Colonel, but he calls himself Colonel Mustafa. He's been in the music scene since what, the early 2000s, and he came out pretty big with his group. It was either called Dukes Vultures or Duo Vultures. It depends on your side of language, wherever you lay on. But they came out, they had this big hit. It escapes me now, but it was with the Gopa DJs, and they flew high for most of the early 2000s. They did pretty well until Nasty Thomas, you know, kind of broke away, kind of went to Europe and kind of like was doing his own thing. But, you know, Colonel Mustafa kind of like still held his own and was, putting his mark in the scene, including being a very big staple in Nairobi Diaries. Me and my sister absolutely used to love his character on Nairobi Diaries. He was absolutely funny. He would just remove the funniest puns. He would call himself Tolu Mnyama everywhere. Which is a saying that should be put on t-shirt somewhere by the right people. But yes, he pretty much continued to make his scene in the Kenyan entertainment world. But of course, for guys who have been there and trying to navigate and find a new way of doing things, it's not the easiest. Like Juakali. Juakali has come back. He came out with the song Wajakoya. He's found that one niche that would get guys listening to him, and he's doing appearances everywhere. He's actually going to London just in a few weeks for the 7th that's happening in London. And yeah, again, just being a person who has been in the scene and then suddenly have to try and navigate or find a way back, it's not the easiest. Okay, so he's been out of music for quite some time, and nobody knew where he went to or what he was up to. But now there's a video floating around of him kwa Mjengo. First of all, he's one of the cleanest Mjengo guys I've ever seen. This video shows it. I've never seen a Mjengo guy look this clean. But he is wearing a dirty t-shirt and he's wearing rubbers. Rubbers which again look very clean. Okay. Kama umewahi umeona mtu wa Mjengo, tena somebody who's been working hard, then they wouldn't be looking like the way he's looking now. So, but we can't discount it. We don't know what's going on. All we know is that the clip has been unleashed. Hata vile anabeba mawe. Ai, sijui. I don't know. I don't know about this one. But of course, it got a lot of guys curious, especially because he hasn't been in the scene for a long time. So some guys are tending to be like believe that things are kind of tough for him, probably, and that has led him to be Kwame Jengo. But the camera is in his face. I don't know. I'm trying to pull my best CSI moves and try to understand exactly what's going on here. And it could also be a music video he's shooting. We don't know because I don't. It doesn't. He never seemed like to be a guy who was too badly off or made the wrong decisions. He always seemed to be a guy who looked like he had a good head on his shoulders, gimmicks aside. So it could be a new video because this look is looking way too clean. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, I'll read out some of the comments right here on there because um one person said anajenga nyumba yake bana, but you don't get your hands dirty for um your own house. Somebody else said new video featuring Timmy Tiagas, I die. Kevin Musau one says if is true, may God see him through. He was just amazing during our childhood time. Absolutely true. Somebody else who's already judging says nothing happened to him apart from poor financial management. Maybe there's nothing wrong with the video. Let him do whatever he has to do, as long as it puts food on the table. At the end of the day, we're all fighting poverty. Now, there are a lot of guys who have gone the same route. I mean, they were at the height of their career, the height of trying to do something and edge away for themselves, and then things go thick and this is where they end up. Like there was a potential MCA who vied for elections, I think last year. Things didn't go her way and she ended up working in Mjengo, and there were pictures of her floating around. So it is possible, but yeah, Mustafa, I'm not too sure. I would like to hear your thoughts. Let me know on +254 788 38 0030 on the YouTube comment section right there. Of course, also you can jump here to the conversation for today, where we are asking you: would you ditch your baby daddy for a new relationship? Yeah. I was talking to somebody during the show on phone, getting their thoughts on this, and they're like, listen, I don't think that was the wisest move. First of all, the baby daddy, if he's going to move on, he will move on. He will not ditch any situation for you. So why wouldn't you? Why would you do that? She felt like it was too extreme. Her move was way too extreme to warrant such a move. She felt like this girl should have at least weighed how to handle this better. Again, because this is somebody you're set to get married. This is somebody you've also introduced to your child. This is also going to be another confusing situation. There's a first breakup with baby daddy, and then now introducing her to another situation where there's another breakup, yeah, of a man who's been in her life for quite some time, and then all of a sudden, boof, poof, he's gone. Yeah. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know. Hit me up on our WhatsApp number. You can also send it in a voice note. It will definitely play it over here. Just give it nice and kosher. But we'll definitely play it. And of course, just sample your comments on this particular topic. alone. It was the most soulful ways of saying, go away. That was, yes, his statement after he was going through so much tumultuous times, and he was in the heavy in the press, and he just wasn't getting a lot of love from a lot of people. And that was the best way he could express himself. I wish I could just, go back to, I didn't break my voice and went back to singing so that I could be able to express myself the same way. If somebody pisses me off, I'll just be like, oh, don't judge me, leave me alone. Anyway, we're finishing off with the last bit of the news this morning. Now, there's one that caught my eye, Brian McKnight. As in, I absolutely loved Brian McKnight growing up. Absolutely loved his music, his runs, his the way he would put words together and how he expressed himself. It was just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely loved him. And he was just amazing to watch, amazing to hear. Plus, also, he was a very good looking guy. But now, here comes now all these stories rolling up of him having just skeletons in his closet in regards to his first family. He's just like, I don't know y'all. I don't care about y'all. Y'all don't exist in my life. Gear out. Now, he last week posted a picture with his daughter with the second wife. Okay. And she is notably a white woman, and I'm mentioning this because it contributes heavily to the debate. So he puts out a picture. He's bought her a nice, sleek new car. Must be nice. Must be nice. And he wrote, "Today we celebrate you, Jules, on your birthday. Your mom and I couldn't be prouder of you, and I couldn't ask for a better daughter than you. Happy birthday to the best daughter ever. Love you a zillion." Now, social media got Brian McKnight trending after some controversial captions he made not acknowledging the children he had before his current marriage. Users also point out his IG bio that includes the names of his stepchildren, but not the biological ones he had before his current wife. Now, his bio reads, father of Julia, Jack Kikoa, Mateo, and Brian Kainoa Makoa. So they seem to be of either Hawaiian or origin or Maori, kind of origins. And his profile picture is of him and this new wife who is again seemingly white. Now his first marriage happened with a woman who was seemingly black, and people went and searched for his bio to get the names of his previous kids. So there's Brian McKnight Jr., Brian McKnight, Nico McKnight, Claudia McKnight. No, understand? Or rather, Brianna McKnight, not Brian. There was not two Brian McKnight. There's Brian McKnight Jr. and Brianna McKnight, Nico McKnight, and Clyde McKnight. So understand that he actually even just named some of these kids after him. Now, he has been continuously putting out pictures of the children he has with his second wife. There's one where he captioned, Jules, I became a girl dad because of you, capital letters, and I couldn't have asked for a better daughter. Here's to you, Jules, the perfect daughter I always wanted. He became a girl dad. Note that he has grown kids from his previous relationship, including one who's called Brianna, but he says he was made a girl dad by children with another woman. Okay, he's a stepdad in this particular situation. Somebody said he's twisted, talking about she made him a girl dad. He has an adult daughter. Now, this some time back, that of course he put out the song Back at One. If you're old school connoisseur, Back at One, that people thought he was talking about his family, but somebody noted that Brian McKnight said he gonna start Back at One, and y'all thought his family was exempt from the cuts too. Hey, guys are rough. But yeah, notably, his kids had come out in 2019 to talk about this particular situation, talking about they don't get a call from their dad. They've been waiting on the near their phone to talk to him. They don't get birthday messages. They don't get visits. Nothing. Like he has completely edged them out of his life. And of course, it comes as a shock because he does songs that depict love, that depict walking your daughter down the aisle, that depict a family situation that he holds, he gives value to. So to see something like this happening, you're in your head wondering, why? And it's not, of course, the Brian McKnight we grew up listening to. Now, the other day he was on a podcast speaking about it, and I think we have the clip. Yeah, we're good to go. I would like you to hear this and hear what he had to say about this. Clearly, something really dark happened in that marriage for him to completely denounce his wife and kids, biological kids. Okay. And he has just gone on to say, like, listen, whatever I wrote about meant nothing. It was based on arithmetic, that's mathematics, and it was based on just syllables and notes coming together. Like, what? He had us believe absolutely different. And of course, we used to fall in love because we were falling in love with his music. As in, it makes absolutely no sense for him to come out and just now just completely deny his relationship with his kids, with his first, like you can't deny blood. As in, even his kids look like him. You can't deny it. And then you know what's funny? He named his newborn Brian McKnight, another Brian McKnight, and he has an adult son called Brian McKnight Jr. Like, who would have seen this coming from Brian McKnight? I think, to be very honest, who would have seen this coming? Okay, I still love the man's music, but who would have seen this coming? Maybe when you're singing My Last Cry, this is what he was crying about. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, on to some great news as we finish off this particular hour. So, Missy Elliott and Shaka Khan are among the inductees of this year Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Hey, now if you know me, I love the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I love just seeing the new inductees who are coming in, the new class of each year. And the class of 2023 includes Kate Bush, Cheryl Crow, okay, Missy Elliott, George Michael, Willie Nelson, Rage Against the Machine, the Spinners, DJ Cool Herc, Link Ray, Shaka Khan, Al Cooper, Benny Taupin, and Don Cornelius. I actually have a lot of favorites in this list, and it's an amazing year for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But Missy Elliott, let me tell you, ever since she came back into the scene, I think some 3 or 4 years ago, she has just been heavy putting in work, and you cannot deny her body of work from the 90s when she was working with Timberland and Magoo, and just seeing her there, even just her genius in writing and producing, and even the videos that she came out with, she was very futuristic. I am absolutely gassed. She had recently had a boulevard named after her. She had her Hollywood Walk of Fame. She had Madame Tussauds make for her the most epic depiction of her and her embodiment. Oh my god. Um Missy Elliott is one person who is iconic in every sense of the word. and then you throw in Shaka Khan. One of the best years yet, okay? One of the best years yet. All right, guys, I gotta go. I'll be back with the vault. I just gotta go, just pad my face. I'm taking a bit of water, and then just come back and let's get into that hip hop vibe, that hip hop music, and of course the hip hop news, as we talk about everything that has been happening this week. Keep it here for the vault. I'll be holding it down myself. The other boys are like, but then the announcement was made last night, so now I'm alone. Anyway, catch you again at the vault. Make sure you keep it here and don't move an inch.